time I want my mind, I do. This time I want my mind, I do. This time I want my mind, I do. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Hey y'all, and good morning. I am just sitting down to breakfast, or second breakfast, depending on how you look at it, and wanted to talk about why I'm doing this video, what the heck quote-unquote pro-metabolic even is, and just a couple other things. If you are familiar with the pro-metabolic kind of approach to wellness and eating, I hope that this will provide some helpful ideas for things that you can do in your own life. Also to like save money, because while it might be ideal to always be getting top dollar ingredients, that's just not always practical. And so I'm trying to implement some ways of eating this way that are not breaking the bank. On the other hand, if you have no idea what pro-metabolic eating is, then you're like, what on earth is she talking about? Well, you're in the right place, because I'm going to tell you pro-metabolic is not some crazy revolutionary way of eating. Rather, it's going back to a simple, balanced approach that really prioritizes working with your physiology, optimizing your metabolism, and keeping your blood sugar balanced for overall well-being, and not just looking at macronutrients, but also really prioritizing bioavailable micronutrients and minerals, and considering how all of that affects just your basic everyday functions. Sounds like a lot, really it's not. Point is just being intentional, and also taking the focus off eating to look a certain way, but rather eating just to feel your best, live your best, and again, optimize your function. What you saw in the previous clip was my little pre-breakfast. I made a coffee just using some whole milk, and I added some collagen to get a little bit of extra protein in there, also get some of those amino acids that you get a little bit less from muscle meats and more from things like collagen, gelatin, bone broth, anything like that. And then my gelatin gummies, they are cherry lime gelatin gummies, which I actually shared in another video, so I'll link that below. Feel free to go check it out. But those are super simple. It's just like 3 or 4 ingredients, and again, a great way to get some carbs and protein into my body even before I'm really feeling like sitting down and eating a full meal. So this is nothing glamorous, but I have some fresh sourdough bread. It's a little funny looking because I cut it when it was still too hot, but I could not resist. And then I've got some eggs. I have 2 or 3 eggs, I don't even know. Samuel made them for me very kindly. But biggest, I guess, objective that I am holding when it comes to eating this way is making sure I am eating first thing when I wake up, not having caffeine or coffee on an empty stomach, and then making sure that I'm pairing protein and carbohydrates so that I'm keeping my blood sugar really stable and balanced throughout the day. So nothing fancy, but that's what I'm doing. And another one of the reasons that I had those gummies when I first woke up is so I'm not just having coffee on an empty stomach. I love coffee, and it's not something I'm gonna quit, nor do I think it's something I have to quit, but prioritizing eating something else with it where first has made a huge difference just in my stress and anxiety levels throughout the day. Because when you're drinking coffee on an empty stomach, while it gives you that surge of energy and sharpness and focus, that's because of cortisol spiking, which is not optimal, is not a steady source of energy, has a very important role in your hormone cycles, but needs to be kept in check. Anyway, I think that's enough of me talking for now. I'm gonna eat my breakfast and I'll check back in with you later. But please don't forget to like this video if you like what you see here, and if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, it would help me out so much, so please hit subscribe. I am getting ready to go to the gym and making myself my little Adrenal cocktail. I'm gonna take it with me and then add some collagen so I get a little protein in here. And ultimately I'll drink it after my workout as a little bit of a recovery drink. I found that the timing of that works out pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead and add about 1 part orange juice. And this is one of those areas where I am like definitely not doing this perfectly / saving a little bit of money. I know fresh squeezed orange juice is ideal. At least many of the experts are saying when it comes to adrenal cocktails. However, you know how expensive that can get. So The main components of an adrenal cocktail, or the essential components, are going to be a source of whole food, vitamin C, potassium. Here I have coconut water, which is going to serve as that, and then some sodium. So even though this isn't fresh squeezed, it still has that whole food vitamin C. Anyways, that's why I'm using this. That said, we have 1 part of the orange juice, then gonna break it into this coconut water, super high in potassium. The point of the adrenal cocktail is to really supplement naturally sodium and potassium, which are 2 of our quote unquote macro minerals, along with potassium and calcium, and are essential to so many of our bodily functions, including blood sugar regulation and just feeling good. So getting extra in the diet is really important, and I'm sure if you have any sort of familiarity with the pro-metabolic eating world, the adrenal cocktail is definitely something you've heard of. Anyway, whole food vitamin C, that's half orange juice, half coconut water. I added a pinch of pink Himalayan sea salt. A lot of people use the like gray sea salts, but I just have the pink stuff, so that's what we're using. Really don't think it matters too much. And then this isn't a necessary component, but it goes along with making sure we are balancing carbs and protein, as I'm adding just 1 scoop of collagen. That's about 9 grams of protein. And then I'm going to use my little finicky but handy dandy whisk to just try and dissolve the collagen the best I can. All right, y'all, I just got back from the gym and I'm gonna throw myself together a little bit of lunch. I was trying to get everything in frame, so I have to crouch down if I'm gonna be in frame too. But one of my biggest life hacks, seriously, saves me so much time and hunger and thought, is to always plan to make enough dinner that I'll have leftovers for lunch the next day. So last night for dinner, I made a big salad, just romaine, chopped baby tomatoes. It has some green onions. Love adding green onions to a salad for a little bit of extra flavor. Some goat cheese, not goat cheese, it's goat's milk feta, so I guess kind of goat cheese, and sunflower seeds. So lots of flavors and textures in there. And I'm gonna put some chicken on top. I just have a rotisserie chicken here. And then later on, I'm actually gonna go ahead and shred the rest of the chicken off the bone here, and I'm gonna use it for a stew that I'm gonna make for dinner. I did not forget about my carbohydrates. I just happen to be having them in the form of a little bit of chocolate with my lunch. These are from Costco. It's literally like $5 for this huge thing of them, and we usually don't get them, but Samuel may or may not have grabbed them off the shelves, and they are so freaking good. So yeah, that's where it's at. It is just a little bit later, but I'm gonna go ahead and make dinner because I work really late tonight and Samuel's super busy as well. So we wanna be able to get home and just plop down, hang out, and be nourished. So anyway, I'm gonna be making a chicken and vegetable stew using some of this homemade broth that I made. I don't know that I could technically call it bone broth, just given the process I used, but it did have plenty of bones in it, as well as some dark leafy greens. Different people I follow talk about how when you put greens into your broth, it infuses the nutrients into it, also makes it taste a little better. Love adding some garlic, onions, anything like that, aromatics to it as well. So anyways, I have this broth. It gelled up really nicely, which also does tell me that it has a pretty high collagen, or gelatin rather, content in it, which I don't know if I said this when I was talking about my coffee or not, but gelatin, collagen, They are also great when it comes to gut health, and if you have any issues with the lining of your gut, actually helping to heal it. I might be getting this wrong, but I believe it's because of something called glycine, which is an amino acid in gelatin and collagen, which again, you get less of in muscle meats as opposed to these sources. So getting lots of it into your diet is wonderful, especially if you have any sort of gut issue or yeah, I guess that's it. I'm falling over here because again, I'm trying to crouch to fit in frame. I'll go ahead and get started. I'll bring you along with me. Alright, y'all, I just got back from work. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this soup. It's full of chicken, potatoes, carrots, aromatics, and that broth that I made. Probably have it with a little bit more sourdough bread and then some of this goat's milk Gouda from Trader Joe's. I hope you can see it. It's mostly eaten, so a little bit torn up, but it's one of our favorites. And yeah, just gonna hang out with Samuel, eat my dinner, and head to bed pretty fast. But thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. Again, it would mean so much if you gave it a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It will help me out so much more than you realize. Well, that's it.
Say, lover, if you wanna go, I'm down.